Hello, everybody. We're here again behind the scenes of the Raritan Valley Hi-Railers with Matt and doing another update, uh, August 2023. So, he's done quite a bit of stuff and done quite a bit of scenery work here. One of the questions I got, Matt, I didn't get to ask the last time, but I'm noticing that you're using these cool quick connectors to hook the nozzles together. So where are you getting these plugs from?
That's Home Depot. Those are actually rated for 110 volts.
Oh, wow.
So those are the type of plugs that you'll see in like the new LED recessed lights. The quick connects. Electricians also use them for like if a light just comes with a whip but needs a connection on the end. So they're just an easy push, and you strip the wire, pop it in. The only problem with them is that you have to use like 14 gauge wire, or 12, because like the small wire won't fit.
Okay, well, that's plenty of power going through there, 14 gauge.
We use all big wire anyway, just because of the, it just helps with the amount of voltage. I mean, you could use 10 wire. I mean, the electricity's going to go through it.
Right.
But they just hold up better, especially with the tethers, because, when the show's done, guys just start ripping modules apart and not grabbing the plugs and just ripping tethers. So if you had little wire, you just break everything. So.
All right, yeah. So I didn't get asked that the last time I was here, and I reviewed my video, and I'm like, okay, I got to ask him the next time. And the other thing I'm noticing here on this building is I like the fact that you went across here with the black. It looks like the tar. I'm guessing.
Yes, it's like a tar line.
A tar line.
That's old school. I mean, people don't run now. There's hidden flashing. But like in the old days, they just used to do a tar line, or if you did get leak in the flashing, that's how they fixed it.
Right. Yeah.
We have a nickname in the trade. We call it a bucket of monkey shit. So you tell anybody, get the monkey shit, they know what you want. It's Karnak tar, and that stuff is just sticky, gloppy. You're a mess when you're done using it. But water does not get through it.
Okay. And for those who don't know, you're a builder by trade, right?
I am a builder by trade.
Yeah, so that's why Matt's so familiar with all this different stuff. And so tell us what you've done over here.
Well, basically it's done. It's ready to, my next step is, which I'm going to do next weekend, is to start building racks.
Okay.
So it's, all the control panels are operational. You can see now the monitor's on. Last time you were here, this building was just, the gator board, so that's all been... So the concept here is that this was the original loader, and then as the Raritan Valley coal companies progressed over the years, they had a big, modern flood loader put in. So, but they still just, kind of built it off this building and still use this for the conveyor system that comes up into the top. And so that panel operates the loader, the leveler, the silicone spray units, which I'll show later.
Okay.
It's just, obviously I'm not spraying with silicone, it's just smoke. I can operate, some of the different, like the gates, there's gates that open and close for in and out.
Well, this is a pretty intense control panel.
Yeah, and everything's labeled and I still have to spend time like looking, where's, it's going to take some time at the shows to figure out where everything is.
So you have level lights, cold flow, chute, flow loaders, spray tower lights, loader gate. Wow. I mean, you have quite a bit of... All right, so where did you get the switches from?
Just online, eBay. Or no, not eBay, Amazon.
Amazon. The same thing with this green and...
That's what comes with the raw switches.
Oh, that comes with raw switches? Okay.
I put that there. That switch will operate, but the problem is that all of my accessories run off 12 volt, and those really need, like 16 volt or 19 volt? They need a little more.
A little bit more,
yeah, because you usually, with yours, you'd had to bump the juice up a little to make the switches go. So it's a hit or miss whether it'll work. So you can still manually switch that switch. That switch won't have to get used that often. That if it doesn't throw with that, there's enough guys around, I could just be like, hey, can you throw that switch for me?
Okay. And this is your holder for...
That's my control for the train.
For the dead rail, right?
Yeah, it's not going to stay. I just put it there with Velcro so that while I'm loading a car, I'm not trying to hold that and at the same time. But I can pull it off there and then use it somewhere else.
Yeah, and I like you got the camera here to see.
The mod that I'm very and that wasn't expensive. I think it was like $60.
Really?
So it's meant for people that have like trailers and want a backup camera to add to
Oh.
it. So it comes with like a 100-foot cable. I mean, I only use the 2 connecting cables, but yeah, and it resets itself. Like when you turn the lights off, you'll see it's automatically changes for like night and day.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I was very happy with that. I didn't know how good the picture was going to be, and it's a great picture.
Yeah, it's like really good. It's high definition, that's for sure. Very nice. And we got some more scenery done.
Got all the scenery done. My Mod Podge hasn't completely dried yet, but that will dry clear.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one product that you mentioned every time that you like to use a lot.
It's just so if anybody who likes the realistic water, Mod Podge is a great, substitute and a quarter of the price. But it doesn't dry as fast as the realistic water.
Oh, okay. And what are you using here? What is this stuff?
That's just it's from Scenic Express. It's just a grass cloth.
Oh, okay.
It's to simulate the static grass, but you don't have to. I mean, I do have a static applicator. I've had good luck with the static applicator on these. Once they sit in the trailer and then the humidity hits that stuff, for some reason and it all just flattens out. This stuff seems to stay a little nicer.
So these are actually grass mats.
They're grass mats, yeah, but they simulate the static grass.
Okay. And how about the brown bushes?
Yeah, it's again Scenic Express. I forget who makes it. MRC maybe makes them.
Okay.
They just have different. That's to simulate like some dead grass just sitting in the water there.
Is that my Conrail caboose? The last time that I was here.
That was. They got repainted, turned into the Raritan Valley Connecting because in here you got the Clinchfield Coal Company, the Raritan Valley Connecting Railroad, and then the Raritan Valley Coal Company. So that's their little office.
Okay. And the Clinchfield, that's a well-known name.
The Clinchfield Coal Company is actually a real company.
Yes.
I just kind of liked their equipment and how they did. They had some neat. They were very. I guess my father used to call it Yankee. Yankee. They made a lot of their own plows. They made a lot of their own, loaders, and so
right.
I always kind of liked the Clinchfield, and MTH put an engine out a few years ago for the Clinchfield Railroad. So their engines, if you ever saw, I mean they're a business now, but if you ever saw their engines were Clinchfield Railroad, but then it said what mine they were from.
Oh wow!
So they listed it that way.
I'm enjoying your staged locomotives as you're talking.
Yeah, this one's the dummy. So I use this just again to check clearances
And I think we talked about this before. Is this all dead rail?
Most of my stuff is dead rail.
In this area?
Well, no. I mean this. So this is a third rail.
Okay.
So you could run. I didn't. Most of the guys in the club still. Although there's a lot of guys converting to dead rail, but a lot of guys in the club still run 3 rail. So I wanted to be able to give them the choice if they wanted to run in here to the. Nobody ever will. But if they wanted to run into the transfer bridge and into the engine house. So, any place to just see the 2-track, that's just for the dead rail guys to run.
Okay. I do like the fact that you guys have dead rail switching. I have enjoyed that.
Well, the dead rail is just so much more precise. Because you can crawl it at a mile an hour, and it doesn't because it doesn't lose signal. It doesn't lose because there is no power from it. So if you hit a dirty spot on the track, it doesn't. I kind of like how it works. Yeah, crane is fully operational. I mean, I scratched made this so that you can turn on the lights.
Oh, wow.
And then,
oh, that's cool.
And you can swing to the right if you want. Again, this is just one of those things so that I can say I made one, but it'll never get used.
I made one.
We were just joking about that before.
So I can say I made one.
The only mistake I did with it is the cable drum actually does turn, but I used the same motors I used for the gates, and it's really too slow of an RPM. I should have used a bigger RPM motor because you'll see, like right now, like it's going down. You can see the wheel turning, but it's just so slow.
Oh, okay.
that it's just so I control the drop and everything with the boom, which real crane operators will. They'll a lot of times they'll use the boom to
Yes.
make a quick lift.
Yep.
And
then you have another intense control panel over
so
there.
this is what works all the cranes. Because these two cranes on here, I put the rotating drums too, so those cables actually will go up and down also. But then they also go, where's this one? The cranes actually move. And then the cable, like I said, does go up and down, but again, it'll never get used. I think it was, our member Jeff was here one time, and he said, it'd be really cool if those drums turned and the cables went up and down. So that was like challenge accepted. I had to figure out a way to try to do it.
Right.
But again, it would have been really cool if I had used a higher RPM motor. But you live and learn.
Yeah, it's always a learning process, and you shouldn't be afraid to experiment and just learn. And if it's something you don't like, you can always redo it, right? I'm extremely happy how all the gates came out, the operating gates. Oh yeah,
those work. Those 3 RPM motors are perfect for that. If there was a little guy hanging on there, it would look like he's pushing the gate over.
Yeah, we covered that the last time we were here, and then we have another intense control panel here.
So that's everything with the up and down on the doors, the engine house, the gantry crane in there, to turn this, so when there is power from that transformer to here, so you can turn the tracks on and off. Because if you are using DCH, which is what I say, DCS. I gotta think. You don't want to leave power because if somebody fires something, that engine will fire up.
Oh right,
so
yeah.
you gotta leave that track power off. So I did still set it up like you wanted to run that. Again, probably nobody ever will. There's only a couple of us in the club that even play in these little areas. So Mike, who's here today, he's one, and he'll play in here. But most of the guys just like running around in circles. Yeah, to me that's boring. You run a train around 2-3 times, and now it's like all right, now what do I do for the rest of the weekend? So this is really why I do this stuff. This stuff is just to keep make it fun for the weekend. And when the people are there, they like seeing stuff happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's to me that's the fun part.
Because even on my own layout, I have delivery points.
Yeah.
I
watch your videos.
So I can run in circles if I choose to, or I have actual delivery. I got a grain facility. I got a refrigerated warehouse I can deliver to, and a granary I can deliver. So I got delivery points as well.
So when are you going to have an open house?
All right, so let's.
You thought it was like something viral.
Oh wow, this is cool.
So this I set up because that comes off so that you can load the coal in there.
Okay.
So this I set up so that there's no tether. Like you lift it off and it's the 2 springs that pick up the.
Oh, that's cool.
Contact.
Yeah.
And then you can dump the coal in.
Oh, that is so cool. And then you got the string lights from Evans.
Those
right?
are from Evans. Yep, the string lights. And then the rest of these are all incandescent bulbs from Minitronics.
And who's the wood by? Because I like that.
Well, it's There's a company out there that makes all this, but I get it from Micromark just because I pay a little more money. But he always has it in stock, and he delivers, especially because he's at Berkeley Heights. So if I order something on a Monday, like it's on my front porch Tuesday morning.
Is this wood from the same spot or place?
Yep.
Micromark?
Yeah, it's all it's all the same company makes it, but he just happens to stock quite a few sizes.
All right, so if somebody went on to Micromark, they could find this.
Yes. Yeah, they have all their best thing with Micromark because their website is a little hard to navigate.
Okay.
But if you call them up and ask them to send you a catalog,
okay,
then it's you can get it. And then the flow loader lights, so like right now they're off, but I can turn them on.
Oh, cool.
Like when you're ready to start loading coal.
Yeah, because people do like the fact how you name off your sources of where you're getting your stuff for these builds.
Micromark's a big one. I mean, Micromark's it's not cheap, but like with tools, but he doesn't. Nothing's garbage. Like all his tools are, and I mean, being in a trade and being in a business, it doesn't pay to buy. You know, if you're going to buy a tool, and you know you're only going to use it once in your life. Okay, maybe, but I buy good tools because I use them all the time. From whether I'm using for my business or for my hobby, I'd rather just buy good tools first. Now, I'm sure you're the same way. I'm sure you don't.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm sure you use Snap-on and you know.
Well, you have to, because if you buy cheap tools, they just get beat up too fast, and then you know they just don't hold up. Pretty much like what you're saying. I like that the old Chevy pickup.
Yeah, it was another little one. You know, I just had a little pickup truck, so I built a little back for it.
Oh God! I actually had one of these Caterpillar dump trucks come to the shop for some repairs. I like how you have the excavator as you know digging in the dirt like that.
Well, so basically what it is they just put in a hot box. Yeah, that's what that's called. Anything with water has to be a certain way, and it has to be heated so it doesn't freeze.
Oh.
So that's where all like the inputs for the new hydrant. So basically, what it is, you can see this looks like they just re-blacktopped that they put in a new hydrant system. So that's the pump and the water that comes in for it.
Oh, wow!
So right now they're just showing that they finished that up. They're doing some final steps. This guy's basically the excess dirt here. He's loading it into the truck to be able to be hauled out, and they're done. You can see the guy down there with the roller. He's rolling the new blacktop batch.
Okay. That's so cool.
Which, if that was in our town, that wouldn't be allowed because we actually have an ordinance that when utilities go in, you have to do curb to curb pave. Because the problem is when you do just a patch like that, it creates just the roads become bumpy. They become, but not here. This is just patching in.
And then the star of the show here we have.
So here, let me fire up that engine.
Now you got away from the manual.
I did. I got away from the manual for a couple reasons. One is because it took up too much room.
Okay.
And because the cable hung down too low. And I just figured with this, so I added a actuator, but I used a really heavy duty actuator, like way more overkill than probably. It's rated, I think, for 300 pounds.
Okay.
But I wanted that if a little bit of coal got started, that it would close the valve. So I didn't want to use one of the smaller actuators. Let me just back this down into this here. So obviously this is not the way that's just to do a brief explanation. This will have modules next to it. That's the town of Bridgeton. It's those modules that are the town behind the temples. So when a train comes in, it would come in from this direction. This gate would open to let it in, and then you would start and set the cars, and then you would just do one at a time. So when you pull in, the first thing you're going to do is the chute would be up when it was in. So you would put the chute down, step it in place, and then. Here we go. So you give it a little bit of hit with the vibrator first to make sure the cold. So I have a vibrator in there to get the cold going. You'd give a couple of turns on the siren to let them know they're going to load. And then there we go. And then the next thing you would go through as you're going through is the leveler. So we'll turn the leveler lights on.
Okay.
The level arm down. And then that will continue to roll through there. Leveling the coal. I mean, obviously it doesn't really level, it's just a simulator. see, I didn't get enough in the front. Like, I got to get the timing down. But you get the idea.
Yeah.
And then that would go through there. And then the next thing is the silicone spray units. So those are on. It'll take a second for the smoke to start coming out.
Oh yeah.
And then those would spray the, look like it's doing the silicone spray.
Would have a fog machine been another option to do this?
Maybe. Open up the gate to leave. So then, the string of cars would be pulling through the leave, looking like we're simulating the silicone spray. And again, the silicone spray is put on to keep
The coal dust.
down.
Yeah.
That's it.
Wow. That's cool.
These two cranes move back and forth. So you got that. So that's the yard tracks.
Oh,
Train runs back and forth. And then this crane underneath here, so this would be the work lights on that crane I can turn on, and then that crane.
That's cool.
You can see it's got the safety light that flashes underneath there.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You know that it's moving. This little scene here is just, so I didn't weather this at all. I left this, so this is to show that they just got a new piece of maintenance away equipment. The mechanics are out here checking it out. I scratch built this light tower.
It looks just like the real thing.
Yeah.
Now, this maintenance away equipment, I'm really interested in this. Is this something you built, or is this
No,
something
this you can buy this. It's right here.
Wow.
So it is. I bought this on Diecast Direct.
Oh, so it comes just like that, huh?
It comes as a wheel loader.
Can I ask
But
how much it cost?
It's probably $200.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're not cheap. So you're not going to buy 30 of them.
No. For $200, is it motorized?
No, not motorized. It's just
But still, it's a cool piece.
It is a neat little piece.
I do like
It comes with a different attachment. I glued everything down.
it.
Like they dropped it off, just left the stuff sitting there.
I don't know if I got this the last time or not, but I do like how
I don't think this was. I think this was all raw.
Right.
Last time we were here. I'm really happy how these roofs come out, and that's wood.
That's wood?
Yeah, so that's a micromark piece. Comes. Let me grab it behind you here.
Sure.
Oh, that's not it. So it's a corrugated roof.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's pretty thin, too.
It's thin, yeah, it's very thin. But my steps to it are literally all I do is I hit it with an India ink wash first to darken it up. Once that dries, now the one trick is you really have to glue it down well, because when you start adding water base to it, it wants to warp. So you got to really glue it. But then, so I India ink wash it, and then I have a wash of a rust, a darker color rust that I use. and I hit it with that, and I like all the different striations in it. And that's just naturally happens because it's the wood.
Right.
And then I have a very light rust that I just do like on the tips, like that would be. And I even did like the wash down here where it would be, dripping off the metal onto the roof.
Right, right. What kind of paints are you using? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
All acrylics.
Okay.
All acrylic paints. And then, the washes are just, I'll take a color I like and then just thin it down, with water.
Okay.
And then that's, to make different types of washes. So all my washes are there all here. So, like there's my light rust wash.
Is there any name brand that you like, or pretty much?
Right here. So Liquitex.
Okay. Liquitex.
Yeah, you can get Michael's.
Okay. Yeah, I like the engine in general.
Yeah, the motor. So that's another 3D piece from
Shapeways.
Shapeways. Yeah, see, you remembered.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to learn.
So yeah, I
some
ordered
of
that.
the
And
stuff
then
that-
just paint it up. So when it comes clear. So you just you paint it up and do a little.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
color
mean, you
there.
did a good job on painting it. It looks good. I like the chain. You even painted the chain rust.
Yeah.
Rust cut on the chain. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, this looks so realistic. What you did here.
So, again, that was. I didn't make that. That's like an old Lionel, like a bridge, but from steel plate.
Okay.
Or stamp, the stamp steel.
Yeah.
So I just took somebody gave me that I don't remember the gate. So I pulled the legs, off, and used something and then kept those, and then was like, oh, I need a piece to hold this end up. I was like, I have a cabinet over there that's anything I rip apart or gut, I just throw it underneath there. It's like I'll eventually use it. Like here's a perfect example. Like all these cars that, like pickup trucks, they're all those cars that you can pull back and then they take off.
Oh, okay.
But I don't need the little mechanism in there to do that. So I pull them out and I keep them. But like if I ever need a neat little thing that I just want to simulate, like a little winch or something, I mean, that's just I'll paint it, I'll rust it up and make it look like, it's got all the gearing in there. Like it looks realistic.
Yeah.
But all that is that's the guts that come in every single one of those, 143 scale cheap little vehicles that are like $4, $5. You pull them back, like I said, they take off.
Right, right.
And the funny thing is, the only reason I even learned that, like I never knew that, is one time I was working on the layout and one of the cars in my way, so I went to go take it, and I just moved it out of the way, and I let go, and I was thinking about it, all of a sudden it shot past me. It took off with the layout and like wiped something out, and I was like, what the hell is that? So I was like, oh, look at that, I didn't know that. So now, just so that because so like if you ever look at the pickup trucks, they have a bump in the back because that's hiding that, and I want to get rid of that bump because I want to do like a little thing. So I just rip them out and I rip these little motors in. So I got a bunch of these.
And whose signals are these? Or are you building your own?
Those are Lionel.
Lionel. Okay.
I found those at a Trainz show somewhere. I don't remember where, but they were.
I like this color here. What is this, a ballast that you made?
So it's a ballast. I can actually tell you the colors.
I actually like that color.
So that is a. Nope, I can't. I lied. I just had it written down somewhere. That's actually Woodland Scenics.
Okay.
I forget. It's the dark gray and the light gray, but then we mix it like a 50-50.
All right. So you actually get the ballast from Woodland Scenics?
You get the ballast from Woodland Scenics. I mean, you get Scenic Express has, but it's when I first joined the club, the ballast color was a Woodland Scenic color because they want everybody to use kind of. I mean, that's kind of changed because ballast really isn't the same color all the way. If you ever look at the railroad,
yeah,
I mean, it does change. Same way when I first joined the club, you had to keep all your ballast level across all 4 tracks, and I was like, that doesn't look prototypical at all. So I started slowly. I didn't do any of mine that way. I started slowly as I renovated other ones, like tearing it out and changing the look. But I like back in the yards and stuff. Like here, if you notice, it's almost like it's all grass.
Right.
Because in a little maintenance yard like this, you barely would see the ballast.
Right. Yeah. Yep, that's true.
Ready for me to shut some lights off?
Yeah, let's shut off some lights and see what it looks like. Wow.
It's pretty cool at night.
I guess so. I mean, I know we discussed this before, but I'll bring it up again in this video because I know people are going to ask. So, what's the estimated amount of lights you have into this?
There's probably just on these few modules.
Yes,
maybe close to 1,000.
Close to 1,000.
Well, if you take into account all the string lights, because
yes,
like all the string lights underneath, I use the 26 light strings.
Okay.
So, I mean, just with there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 or 12 of those just in here, so there's 300 something right there, and then all the individuals. So maybe 800, but up there. On the whole layout, I bet you there's probably 4,000.
4,000, yeah.
I mean, when you consider well, put it this way: we have those 200-watt power packs. I think we're up to. Bobby has one. I have like 6.
Wow, 6
yeah.
power packs.
Yeah.
And how many watts are they again?
200.
200. So you have 6 200-watt power.
No, we joke all the time about the amount of power we're going.
And that's using. Well, you use a mix of LED and incandescent.
Yeah, the incandescents pull a lot. I mean, the LEDs obviously don't pull anything.
Yeah, yeah.
But I like to use the mix because to me the incandescent shows that older.
Yes.
So like the perfect example is that tipple and loader over there. You know, you can see where the old was and where the new got added.
Yeah, exactly. This is so cool. I want to show off this too in the night scene because this looks great. Wow. Well, Matt, you sure did put a lot of work into this.
Yeah, no, this was what. So this, I started this after the March show last year. So basically middle March, April, May, June, July, August. Yeah, probably about 5 months into it. If you want to come in here as a little side project I did. This side used to look like this. It just had 3 dormers.
Right.
But the last show, I don't know why something shifted in the trailer or something. It got crushed. Like these are actually kind of low, but they're not too bad. This side was like crushed.
Oh.
So I was like, I wanted to do something cool with it instead of just putting the dormers back. So I said, let me do something under construction. So
yeah,
I even added my little company. Like they had a banner. They had a banner up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then here, I could switch this. I could put the lights on that. So I even did a little construction lighting in here. But you got you got this guy looking at the blueprints. This guy, talking to him. This guy handing up rafters. This guy setting rafters. That guy cutting wood. And then your typical contractor sitting on a white bucket taking a crap.
That's funny. Oh yeah.
So like this was all existing, this is
right.
That I probably built, I don't know, maybe 3-4 years ago. This is the dormitory. It sits kind of like we're at the end of the tipples.
Okay. So again, it just shows that if something does happen or gets damaged, you can.
Yeah, you just do an upgrade.
There you go.
And then I took it was like a weekend. I spent like a weekend on it. And if you really look inside, you can see the hallway in the back that has the doors that go into what would be like these apartments on this side.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So then they just added the new hallway door.
That is so cool.
They make the little plywood piles. Even have the the lumber piles down here like they got dropped from the lumber yard. So this is what this would be like a doghouse dormer.
Okay.
And then this is what they call a shed dormer. So right now you're seeing all the ceiling joists, and then they're setting the rafters going in that'll create the roof line.
Okay. Wow.
But I mean, I got the little headers in there. You got the the jacks. I mean, that's where it does come into handy that you know how things are built.
Yeah.
So this is called a fly rafter. So that's all like a fly rafter that comes over the edge. And a fly rafter, all that is where a rake end of a building isn't flat against the building. It projects past to give like an overhang, a soffit. And that had like a window that was there, so I showed like that got framed in because they didn't need a window there anymore.
Oh, okay. This is so cool. Wow. All right, so I sort of walked in on you talking to the other club members. I didn't know if you wanted to do a reveal yet or not, but you were talking about a water feature, another water feature on a club.
So my next practice, I'm already, I there's something wrong with me. Like I always have to be building something. So my next project I'm already thinking of doing is an old mill, but I want an operating water wheel on it, and actually a real water feature. So the one that I'm actually going to model off of it's actually in Clinton, New Jersey. It's the Red Mill in Clinton. But that's my next, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to do it exact because this is kind of a big
yeah.
I have to kind of make it fit, but I definitely want water to be flowing from the spillway. I definitely want the water wheel to turn. I'm not going to use the water though to turn the water wheel. I'll actually use a motor.
Okay.
But the reason for that is because if you use the water, it's the size. Like if you've ever seen them on the water wheel, it turns too fast.
Right.
It doesn't look prototypical.
And when you're saying water, you want to use real water, not
I use real water, like I have. I've done real water features on the layout.
Oh yeah.
Before. I mean, it's just basically I build the area I'm doing like a shower pan. So build everything I want to do, red guard it. In the old days, I used to fiberglass it. Like when I did my old waterfall with the river, I fiberglassed that. But now they make a product called Bostitch makes one called Blacktop Red Guard. I don't know who makes Red Guard, but you can buy it at Home Depot. They sell it. And I mean, it's waterproof when it's done, so it doesn't leak. And then you have to use real products. So like I use all this real stone. I sift all my own stone, and then I embed it in a cedar color caulk, so that looks like dirt. And then it's 100% waterproof. Like water can run through it, and nothing, it doesn't hurt. You can't use like the foams and stuff on it. You have to use all real material.
Okay.
So it does add a little weight because you're using real material. But it just, it's worth it because it looks, real water. And I mean, I've been asked in shows like, what do you use for the water? And it's hard to, especially because I'm a sarcastic person. You kind of look at it like water. So, but it's just another day because it can be done on a home layout. Like it's an easy thing to do. I mean, we were just, you were there last week too. We were at the Choo Choo Barn. I mean, they have real rivers running all through it. I would have done a little more stonework and stuff too to make it, but they just basically I'm going to assume they probably fiberglassed because of the age. They just kind of painted the fiberglass and left it like that. But I mean, you can add products on top of that then to make it look more realistic, and it won't leak. It'll never leak. You have to change and which the nice thing with the modular layout is that the water's only there for the weekend. And then we empty it. So if you're going to do it on a home layout, you have to do a way to empty it because it will get nasty after probably a week. So what I would do, like if I was going to do a home layout, I would fill it up if I knew people were coming to see the layout, have it running, and then when it's done, just drain it. And then, just leave it a dry riverbed until till you want to shoot some video or do some ops, sessions or something. Then fill it up with water. But it's very easy to do real water on a layout.
Yeah, because I have not seen that done. That I don't think I don't
You
know.
usually see it like Roadside America used to have.
Roadside
water,
America, I remember that.
But like I guarantee the Choo Choo Barn probably swap either they have a filtration system on it, which I don't know if they're that technical, or they just drain it and change it once a week or something.
Yeah, because I remember when I went to Roadside America, they actually had on one end of it that they had an actual fish tank.
Yes.
As part of the layout.
Well, the Choo Choo Barn last week we were there, they have fish in their ponds. So they might have a filtration system on it because they have fish in there. But yeah, no, I mean, it just adds another element. I like the real water. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and like we already mentioned, this won't be the first time you've had a water feature.
No, there's a water feature on the layout now, but it's just a small little like a drainage pipe that comes out and just runs through a small river. This I'm going to do a little more. So it's the size pumps you use. So like for that little feature, I use it's actually a pump I buy at like Petco. It's for like turtle enclosures, so it pumps a small amount of water. But for this, I'll probably use the new project, a bigger pump. And you can buy those at Home Depot. They use them in tile saws. So it pumps, just how many gallons per minute you need to pump. But with this going to have a spillway and everything, it's going to require some more work.
Yeah.
Because I want to model that spillway. So the other thing that's going to require with that spillway is that I'll probably have to bring a level with me when I come to make sure that I actually set that module level. Because we don't really spend that much time leveling. Just as long as they line up and they're all plane, that's really what's important. So yeah, we'll see. If it doesn't work, I won't leave the water running in it. I haven't had an issue with one yet. We used to have the waterfall used to drip, and that was only because I think the issue, it was two modules that went together, and with the water retention, I think it was just rolling underneath, and so I used to just put a bucket underneath it, and by the end of a weekend show, it had maybe a half inch of water at the bottom of the bucket. It wasn't, so it didn't get on the floor or anything. I had a drain valve underneath, and I could just open it up and drain the reservoir out. The one I have now, it's got a small bucket that hangs underneath the layout with a small pump, and it just recirculates back through there. So at the end of the show, I unplug it, let the water drain, drip out, and then I take that bucket off and just go dump it outside. But it's like water is a natural filter. So I mean, it goes to show you how dirty it is inside the Raritan Center, because by the end of the weekend, that water's black. But yeah, no, it's a neat process.
Well, now we have an insider of your future project, and so we're all looking forward to your layout at the
We should
November.
Be in the November show. We should. I mean, we weren't in the August show, so it means we should definitely be in the November show.
Yeah, and what Matt is referring to is the Greenberg Train Show in Edison, New Jersey. So make sure you go to www.trainshow.com. That's the website for Greenberg. You'll see the show schedule there and they're planning on being in Edison as long as everything's good to go. So, and we'll catch you guys there. Just want to let you know that you and the members always are great. Done a good job. I'd like to thank you guys for always inviting me to run with you guys, and the club members also put in a lot of time into their own modules. I know I've focused on a lot of your modules, but the club members have also done a great job on their modules. So I didn't want to leave them out for this end of the summer update. So, and we'll see you guys there. And make sure if you have any questions, you can talk to Matt, and he can discuss further what he's done. He's always helpful, and watch the trains run on the Raritan Valley Hi-Railers. And we'll catch you guys later.
Sounds good. Thank you.
No problem.